Hey guys, welcome back to Adventures in Aviators. Today we are walking you through a beautiful hike in the heart of Utah, one of my favorite states. This is Calf Creek Falls, specifically Lower Calf Creek Falls, 126-foot waterfall on a 6-mile out and back trip through a beautiful canyon. One of the best things about going to Lower Calf Creek Falls is actually going to Lower Calf Creek Falls. To get there, you are either going to come down from Boulder or up from Escalante on Scenic Highway number 12. And this drive is actually between Bryce Canyon and Capitol Reef National Parks. I drove this about 10 years ago and was just blown away by it. And it's what brought me and Michelle back to this area. But this drive is just absolutely unbelievable. So pretty. And the drive alone is worth it, but to go and find a beautiful hike at the end of this drive is just a real treat. If you're staying in the area, you're probably going to be staying in Escalante, where there's more hotels and accommodations, and it's only about 25 minutes away from there. This is an official campsite, and so you do need to register and actually pay $5 per vehicle. But with that comes really nice restrooms, as well as some brochures that talk about the area, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. This hike, however, is one of the most popular in the area, so be ready to face the crowds if you don't get there early. Actually, even if you get there early, there's probably going to be several people, and that parking lot can fill up really quickly. If you don't mind a little afternoon heat, you can go midday, and you'll probably avoid some of the crowds. But this is one of the more popular hikes in the area. The path itself is really well marked. You are in a canyon, so it's kind of hard to get lost. It's pretty sandy though, and so be ready for, you think 6 miles isn't so bad, but 6 miles in sand is a different story, and so you'll definitely be putting in some effort to get to these waterfalls. It's not all sand. There's definitely going to be some, minor bouldering and steps that you're going to go up and down as you get there, but it is a family-friendly hike that, as long as your kids are a little bit older and willing to go a full 6 miles, it's a great hike for everyone. I'll definitely encourage you to pick up the brochure at the entry point, as they've marked different points of interest along the way. And this was really interesting, especially when you've got 3 miles of hiking that you're going to do. It's cool to see different features of the canyon, different wildlife, and a variety of really cool ancient sites by the Fremont people who inhabited this land between 700 and 1300 AD. And this includes an old mill, as well as some pictographs on the canyon walls that you can see from across the way. So some really cool cultural stuff, as well as nature things to see on this hike. But at least speaking for me, I would not have seen these had I not had these points shown to me on the brochure. Because you're in central Utah though, make sure to be ready for heat or cold, depending on what time of year you are there. We were there in July and it was hot. I mean, really hot. Thankfully, we were there in the morning, and so we did get some morning shade. Being in the canyon, you had the opportunity to be in and out of the shade. But as we came back in the afternoon, that shade had now disappeared, and we were definitely out in the sun, and it was hot. We were really glad that we had sunscreen and sun protection, as well as tons of water. You're over 5,000 feet in this area, and it's really easy to forget that you're sweating out a lot of these things because it's so dry. And you will get dehydrated really quickly. So make sure you bring tons of water for you and your family if you choose to do this hike. But it is really well worth it. It's a beautiful canyon, as you can see. And of course, when you get to the waterfall, what a pretty, pretty place. And if you're there during the summer, you're going to want to just jump in, and you can. Plenty of people do. It's a beautiful little swimming hole here, but it is cold. I tell you, we were just so hot as we arrived, couldn't wait to jump in. And once I put my feet in, I really thought twice about it. I was like, holy cow, is this cold? But you can see the waterfall itself is quite beautiful. It's much cooler in the area around the waterfall because you have a little bit of the breeze and the mist coming off there, so it cools that area. So it's a great little oasis in the middle of a hot area. Now, hot in the summer can be quite cold during the wintertime though. One trick that I did on our way back specifically was there's a couple areas where you get close to the creek. You're not really close to it all the time, but I dunked my shirt and used that to help cool off along the way, along with having lots of water for the trip. But as you go, I definitely would recommend looking all around. You can see all kinds of wildlife. We saw some deer while we were here. You'll definitely see evidence of beavers damming up the creek, which is really cool. All kinds of wildflowers, specifically cactus, which were in bloom as well. You'll get different kinds of trees as well. But really a unique hike that's got a lot of different things to offer, so I highly recommend this one. You can actually get views of this canyon from the road if you continue on going north towards Boulder, and this whole drive is just absolutely stunning. But you will look to your left as you're going towards Boulder and you will see this huge canyon, and so that's the canyon that you were down in. Of course, there are just so many hikes in this area, but this is definitely one of the more formal hikes. It's got actual facilities, an actual parking lot, and those different things. So if you're looking for a nice day to spend with your family, this is a great place to do that. You can camp here as well, and so it's a great place to pitch a tent and enjoy a couple days if you want. Now, I do want to point out this is a completely different trail than the Upper Calf Creek Falls trail. So there's a smaller waterfall further upstream from this spring and a totally different trail to go hike up to that, and it's going to be found further north on Highway 12. But if you've checked out this trail and have any other advice, please put those comments down below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that. Hit that notification bell and smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
We love celebrating all kinds of beautiful creation, and Utah is one of my favorite places to do that. I can't wait to get back to this beautiful place, and I hope you guys learned a little something today, and we'll see you next time.